this could be part of the podcast too?
Yeah, 100%. So it's been a minute since we've been set up with the podcast like this. How do you feel? You said yesterday, hey, I want to get on a podcast. I feel like I got stuff to say.
I think when I hear people's experiences with modeling, I feel like I have something to say because I feel like I'm an example, and I feel like I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Because you're experienced and you're professional, and
things are just falling into place because of the way I communicate with clients and just the way I am. And it's important because we all attract our experiences. Well, for those of you that don't know, I am Danielle Sanchez. I have been modeling since 2017, so 7 years now. I feel like modeling just fell into my life without me trying. In high school, my friends would tell me that I should be a model, and my mom always put this idea in me that I'll model one day, or that when we would walk around the mall. Sorry, my voice is a little cracky today because I'm recovering from a little bug, but my mom was always like, you're gonna be an Express model one day, because she was obsessed with the Express. And I don't know, I just never really believed her, or I was like, oh, that's cool, or whatever. And I didn't know what my purpose was in life. I was trying to figure that out still, and I went to community college, and I was going to become a nurse because that's what my mom wanted me to be, and I was just trying to figure it out. And I worked at a boutique, and I started modeling for their website because they needed a model, and they just told me that I might be a good fit. So I started doing that, and then my assistant manager, Ashley Renee, she was a stylist for the agency and told me to submit to Neil Drew Agency. And I did, and that was in 2018. And I felt like I just really found my passion. And I think that's where it starts with our conversation today, where I just feel like when it's a passion and it comes from your heart, it's just so different.
It's better attraction. Because if you're doing it with wrong motives, it's just not going to play out right at the end of the day. So
with anything, any type of craft or hobby, or if you just really enjoy doing it, that love, and it'll give back to you. Yeah. And I just really love it.
Think about it. Modeling is a form of expression where you're in front of the camera and you're basically shining your light, right? And the light that you're shining, you're expressing yourself, your image. And it's kind of you are embracing yourself. That's what it is. Because if you don't do that, what happens is your image, you start to forget your image. And even little kids, they like being in front of cameras, or some of them are shy, right? But they're pretending they're becoming some type of character, some superhero.
I'm trying to think, what is it actually that I love about it?
It's about you experiencing your power being expressed. That's what it is. You feel like you're one with yourself. That's what it is.
Maybe I feel seen or by a camera or something. I'm just trying to what is the root of it exactly?
I feel like for me, if I experience it a little bit, is that I like to see my image. And when I see my image, it starts to change the way I see myself in a higher way, because I'm being captured in a very high quality way, or I'm put in the light. Then when I'm looking at myself, I'm seeing myself more in the light. So it brings more confidence, and it becomes more of a stronger identity about myself, right? I know how I look. It's like someone who's living every day and they never stop to look at themselves in the mirror. Their image starts to fade away. But when you become true to your image and you embrace your image, and people use image for branding and all that stuff, but I'm talking about the pure essence of it.
I guess I don't really fully say that, or I'm not thinking that exactly, but when I see images of myself, I feel like my power is being represented, or it's being displayed, and it's being seen. And I think that's what I like, maybe. Mm-hmm. But so definitely comes from passion. I just the passion has never left. I still feel so inspired by Bella Hadid and Candace.
They're inspirational.
Music artists, how they express in music videos, how Doja Cat expresses herself, and who else do I admire?
Well, it's about channeling the energy. That's what it is. So if the energy is stuck, or if it's not being practiced to express, then it gets stuck, right? And then if it's not being transferred onto the other side of the outside expression, then it's just being stuck, right? So when you're seeing music artists, just other top models, like being put on a very known platform, whatever, you're seeing their light shine through and express, right? So like I said with the lighting, right? So if you don't shine your lights, it just starts to get dim and dark, and you just forget about yourself. And you don't see yourself, right? Well, guess what happens when other people see yourself too? See you, your image. They start to see you in this particular way, where they're seeing you on, maybe it could be on a pedestal or whatever, right? Well, think about when you put a light, you never put it underneath of the bed. The light always go on to the highest level so it can shine down, and the light is balanced and you can see everything. So that's the nature of light, is that when you shine your light and the light is becoming more true, you're supposed to be on the higher states so that it can shine. So when people see your image, they're feeling your light, so they're inspired and they're experiencing your lights, your spirits. Right? And so there's so many people that you inspire that are in our community, right? And when they see your image being posted, they feel inspired as well too. And what is that inspiration? It's they see your light, and I think in a way they feel like
they have it in them too. They could do it too. Very cool. Very exciting. So it comes from a place of love for sure. And I feel like when that happens, when you come from a place of love and you communicate to clients that book you, they could feel that instantly too. And they really appreciate that. And that makes people rebook you, and it makes you get more jobs, because it's coming from this client's like, oh, this model's just coming here for money, trying to take something from me.
So I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say if I contact some producer or client, the way they communicate, if they're full of excitement to take on the job, whether it's a shooter or a model, I can tell who's excited or not, right? Some of them, if they reply back where it's just not fullness of conversation or full communication, it means I don't know what's going on their side. They might be really busy, right? Or they're just lacking communication, right? So it's important for you to be really true with yourself, so that you can give. If you are all to yourself, you're able to give all to others when you communicate or whatever. This is based on relationship, right? And this is public relationship. This is how you communicate and how people receive you. And that's important that
that's a big part.
But if your schedule is so busy, that's when you need an agent to start to communicate with you, right? Whether you're a shooter or a model. There's stylists, there's photographers, there's a lot of talents out there that they have agents. And when they're being booked, they're not communicating. Music artists too. They have booking managers, right? Because they're focusing on their craft, and if they're getting inquiries, they're losing focus if they're trying to communicate to the clients, because then they start thinking about the different aspects of negotiation or stuff like that, and that should be specialized for someone who is in that position to do that. And then the talent, the model, the shooter, whoever, gets to focus on their craft. And when they focus on the other stuff, it starts to lose the spirits of what they're doing. They just want to be focusing on what their gifts and talents are at. The booking manager is the one that structures, puts their calendar together and all that stuff. That's the important part.
That's definitely very helpful. And having a good agency that that loves what they do too. It also comes from passion, that you're passionate of being a representation of model talent and just being that supporter.
Right,
that's really important.
Right. And I think the way that let's say you're a model or talent, you just start releasing, right? But when you're getting inquiries, you either get the information from the clients and you forward to the booking manager, or is the vice versa, the other way around. Send a screenshot and say, hey, booking manager, contact them, they're trying to inquire and stuff like that. And I think that is going to make it more professional. So let's say you do have a booking manager that is going to be representing you. Then when the client's communicating you, they know that they can't cheat you or do something that is unprofessional, because you're having your eyes on you, saying as a client. and you can't not pay the model. I'm saying because now you're dealing with an agency, right? And if an agency is involved, then you're more you're more protected, I think. But these day and age, people book directly with the models and they get paid here and there. But I do sometimes see that sometimes things burn out to where something is like falls out and so that happens for sure, 100%. Whether
when it's directly to the model or directly to the agency?
With the model. And so directly, you because sometimes the model is not communicating properly, maybe, or them are not communicating to them because of maybe they feel like they're doing more work and stuff. So if they have a representative, they can communicate properly, say, but the model feels like they're doing a lot more work than other jobs and stuff for per hour. We believe that the rate should go higher and stuff, or something like that. Or the model is usually 2 hour minimum on bookings. You're just trying to book this model for 1 hour this week. They're not just going to drive there for 1 hour. So it's 2 hour minimum, and if it's just 2 hour minimum, you pay this much or something like that.
I feel like you can also figure out what type of client it is. Mm-hmm. If it's like directly to the model. If a client is messaging me and it just sounds like the client is just doing too much, it's just like, just handle it with the agency if you're very serious about this. Mm-hmm. But sometimes if they're very straightforward and ready to get to the point, going through the agency might be an extra step that they don't want to do. And you could feel it out in the conversation too. Mm-hmm. It's just being aware of also communication.
And I think also one other thing is that if a client is looking for models, the agency should be able to handpick the right models for that. Because if the model is working for something that they're not fitting for it, they're not going to feel comfortable about it, and the results of the images or the videos not come out right because it was not the right person for it. So the agency is a responsibility when they're dealing with clients is to understand what the details of the booking or the shoot is about. Then for me as a producer or a shooter, I know exactly what is fitting for the campaign shoot. This model is good. Let's say it's a fitness shoot, right? I'm not going to get a model that does not work out for the fitness shoot. It's going to look weak, right? Yeah. So it's not going to deliver properly, right? So posing and posture and stuff like that. Or let's say if there's a model that is more, I guess, more tomboyish or has more of a rough look.
They're not going to do shoots like quinceañera or
they're not going to do a shoot where it's more
girly.
Beauty or glam. So it has to be fitting and stuff, you know? So that's why it's important for the agency to be involved when there's inquiry. The clients will be helped better regarding with their job, and it's just about the fitting, about what's right,
clients definitely need that extra guidance.
Because sometimes the clients, if they communicate directly with the models, it's not the right choice. Because I look at some images that's being released in campaigns and I'm like, that doesn't fit. It's not the right one. It's not the right. It has to go together and be very cohesive.
And I even have experiences where I'm on set with clients and they wish they would have asked me for some models, because I know great models and I know people.
Right. And so you're on set and you perform well.
Made a mistake of hiring the wrong models.
Right. And they went off and got another model on set. You don't know who this model is. Yeah. And they can see the difference and the contrast of it, and they understand.
It happens a lot there.
So you should be maybe representing, say, hey, you know what? I have models. I work with an agency and I'm a model, but also I help as an agent there too. So I can help you with it.
I think I just do it naturally, but it's not through the agency though. Kind of like
because those clients are already communicating through IG directly to the models, 100%. But I think if you're having that entrepreneurship or that business boss spirit, you'd be like, you know what? Yes, we here at the agency can help you find the right models. You represent yourself that way, right? And say, yes, my team can help you do that, because you're not just a model, you're an entrepreneur, you're a boss too, right? So it's like you got to carry yourself that way as well too. But if you position yourself to where, oh, I'm an employee, then you're getting off that vibe where it's just, where I think it's more fitting that if you were to present yourself this way, it's like, oh, next time I know, I'm going to contact Danielle because she presented herself this way. So I know that I can find more models, or she's not going to feel some type of way. Let's say there's another gig and you're not involved with it. They're not going to feel some type of way. They contact you again for models because you presented them that way, that you're also an agent as well too.
definitely take that tip.
There's a tip going on the video right now. We didn't talk about this, but this is good. It's like a meeting or something, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you always bring the right models to the referrals and stuff on point. So
I think we should talk about rates too, because I think a lot of models have trouble understanding how much they should charge, maybe the beginning stage of modeling. And I think from my personal experience, I did a lot of free collaborations and just to get the skill of it and getting comfortable with the camera. Yeah. Every photographer has a different style, so understanding just like the different personalities and different looks. And
this is what I'm gonna suggest. You start very low. You try to become very popular in being booked. As your schedule starts to get busy, you raise the rates, right? So you should start low. I think it should be based off of experience too. The more experience you have, the higher the rate can go. Well, some people are more talented than others, but if you're just getting into modeling, mm-hmm. right? You should start low. But if you're already a professional model, yes, you should have your rates at the right state. Right, you know? But I'm saying you start from scratch and you work your way up. You don't just start off being a great model and then start charging. But some models come into the agency that are already professional models. Right, but they started somewhere too. Oh, you're talking about overall. I think... I was going to say that I started off by doing it for free because I just was learning. It was a learning stage. Mm-hmm. And why would you charge for a job when you don't even know how to actually achieve what the client is looking for? Right. You can't deliver as a professional experienced model. Right. Once you kind of have the basics and the foundation of it, then I started off $50 an hour. This number can be anything, but this was my number. And as the years went by and I felt very confident that I am able to deliver what the client's looking for, you raise it up to $100 and then $150, depending on what the photo shoot is, because video is a little bit different too. Videos is you're not posing, you're performing more, right? Or you're acting and stuff. And I will go based on, so okay, this is these are my rates, right? This is my full day rates because now it's more hours, so they should be getting a better deal, right? If they're and now I could package it together better. And let's say if it's a job where I know is a big client, then my rates should go up higher for sure because they have a bigger budget. But like, how do you know if it's a big client? You research who this client is online. Yes, you understand who they are as a business. Or if there is no business, you can't tell. You just gotta know exactly what you're doing and stuff. What you're doing in the gig. Are you posing product shots? Are you working on set with 10 other models? Or is it just 2 models? I know that if it's 2 models on set, I'm doing more work versus 10 models because 10 models, everybody's swapping on set. So they're good questions to ask. Mm-hmm. I don't think I actually go into detail about asking those questions. But the agency knows that. When the agency is being presented, say we need 10 models for this gig, then we contact the models and said these details and stuff. They said there's gonna be 10 models on set. You're wearing 5 products, I don't know, stuff like that. I guess I'm speaking directly, I don't ask those questions. I think when people are inquiring about modeling photographers, I always feel like it's always a custom thing, right? Because it's always different. It's not like I'm going in and I'm gonna get a 60-minute massage, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's just like, that's just standard and it's all the same. But that's why it's more complex. It is. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know. But the best way to go about it is have some type of template. What is the date or the date? What is the time frame and the time? What is the time slot and the location? And how many wardrobe, makeup, hair? Is makeup and hairstyling gonna be part of it, or do I come makeup and hair ready, right? Yeah. And all those details and stuff like that. And I would say what's going on the shoot too. Am I doing product shots? And is it just me? If it's just me, then I'm swapping clothes back to back. But like, what happens if, let's say, the model's rate is $100 an hour, and they're doing product shots for 3 different three different shirts, and then social media, and you could get that done within 2 hours. Are you charging only $200 for that entire photo shoot, or is it different? If the job was done faster? Yeah, if you could get everything done in
an hour, and it's different types of things like photo, video, and social media.
So this is the way I would go about it. So, okay, what are we doing? We're doing...
Because now
we're
you're
doing those
basing
things.
it off, you're basing the rate off of,
The hour.
no, not the hour, but what you're doing.
So that's another way to price too. So let's say if someone wants to do, for instance, like someone wants to come to me and they want to get headshots done. This is my price. Doesn't matter if I finish 30 minutes or an hour, because I know what I'm doing and I deliver the product or job. The way I see it as is that the reason why they're going based on hours is because there's a whole production team going on, right? For a model, right? So you don't know like, if it's going to take longer or shorter, right? But the way I look at it is that's why I need to know the details. If I'm a model, I want to know the details of what I'm doing, because I will go based on what I'm doing and then I'll charge per hour on that. Because I'm not the photographer and videographer as a model, because I don't know if the photographer or the videographer is fast or slow. You know what I'm saying? So it is more complex. And I think, let's say if, this is different right here, the user generated content. If someone comes to me and say, hey, I need 10 videos, reels on these 10 products, right? I'm not gonna, and they're gonna ship me the products, right? I'm not gonna charge them per hour. I'm gonna charge them for the videos. This is how much I'm doing it. I'm gonna charge you $300 for 10 reels, 10-second reels, 15-second reels. I don't know, I'm just giving some ideas.
It
Right?
is super complex.
Right?
It all really
You
depends.
should be creating a package for yourself, the way I see it as. You know,
Yeah.
like, okay, if someone wants to do product shots, this is how much I charge per hour or per 10 items. I don't know. You have to go based on experience.
Because it's like me personally, I can do product shots quick, right? Photo and video, quick. We could
Back to
do
back.
like 20 products in an hour versus maybe another model might take 3 hours for 20 looks. But we're charging 2 different rates is what you're saying, right?
You're charging them, it depends. You're charging them, you know what I'm saying? I gotta know the details of the project. So give me a detail of the project.
I don't know, for a t-shirt brand.
Because at the end of the day, is it a one-time deal or is it an ongoing deal too? Because that's important too. If it's an ongoing deal, it should be
That's
based
a
on...
lot of questions you're asking. Yeah.
Because let's say someone wants to do product shots, right? I'm going to ask them, is this going to be once a month?
See, that's why I mentioned the subscription idea, where you're hiring me on a monthly basis to do product shots, and I give you a set price for it. Remember I mentioned that about?
So give me an example how that will work. 10 products.
Let's say the company comes out with 20 t-shirts every month, and they need 20 product shots and photos and video.
That should be based on contract. Subscription is more like, that should be...
But, not like subscription, but you know what I mean. A monthly deal where it's locked in that you're going to be rebooking me every single month.
You could set a deal on that for sure, 100%. You could say, I know that you're going to have, but see, it could change. A lot of things can change over months with the company. They could be coming with new products, or they could change the way they do campaigns. So at that very moment, if there's a photo shoot that's going to be coming in a couple of weeks, they should present to you what they're doing. And then they should just book you on that for that time, because it's all different.
Unless they maybe mention to you that, hey, we want to keep booking you. Can you give us a more
reasonable rates? You just and sometimes I go with the client and say, hey, what's your budget? Because we're going to work around your budget to make this happen.
Well, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
I ask clients.
But
what
some
their budget
of
is.
them can be lowballing and pretending this is their budget, but they have a higher budget. And if that's the case, then you have to be knowing
if the
what
budget is too low, I'm gonna be like, oh well, this is my hourly rate. But if their budget is higher than my hourly rate, that's a good thing.
Well, if your budget is...
You don't want to be too high, but reasonable and fair, because you want them to book you again as well. And they're like, if they are comparing your rate to another model and the model's like, yeah, let's do $10,000, let's say, for this photo shoot, versus you're saying, I'll do it for $5,000, they're going to go with the $5,000 and then book you again. And then it's continuously like a client that keeps rebooking you. You know?
100%. That's
Those
pretty
are
good.
good things to take in.
What's the time clock right now?
An hour? No, maybe 2 minutes.
Oh, I think we're good. I see the battery's about to die.